Sean, in the fourth quarter there, I think Chloe scored 7 points and 9 out of 10. You mentioned in Fort Myers to keep feeding the hot hand. Was that what you were calling from the sideline?
No, Ray, that was all Ray. Ray called it in the first half, and then when we needed a bucket, she just went back to it and kept going back to it, and Chloe delivered. And she was due for a good one.
Here in the middle to Alan.
That first half, over 50 points, 11 assists, was that kind of about what you had in mind for this offense as you still were trying to figure things out? Was that kind of the ideal of what you maybe, not just the points, but some of the efficiency, the way the lineups played together?
I mean, I don't know what I envisioned, right? Because sometimes we don't know what we're getting. We know what we want. Like, we really know what we're when we look good, when we're most efficient, we know what that looks like. Sometimes our players really, they don't know what that looks like, because they think all open shots are good shots, and they're not. Okay, so we're sometimes struggle with that. I thought we did a really good job in the first half of taking advantage of numbers when we had them, right, and then reversing the ball when we didn't have numbers, which increases our shooting percentage. I thought Duke did a great job at disrupting and not allowing us to make entry passes. And I thought we did a good job at just going a little bit deeper into our offense, where if you're not gonna allow us to make an entry pass, and our post did a really good job flashing to the ball, and we played through them a lot. And it was really good to see, both the guards and the post connected.
In the back, and then to Lily.
What did you like out of the minutes Maddie gave you tonight?
Oh, Maddie's solid. Like, if you can have a young point guard that can just play solid and is reliable, like, she is reliable. Like, she doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot. She handles the ball well. She knows what we need, how we want to play and execute on both sides of the basketball. She can score, like, you put her in a high pick and roll. She's delivering for us time and time again. Just solid, like, it's unfortunate that we don't have more minutes to give her, because, all of our point guards are playing really well.
In the front, Lulu.
Staying on that and just expanding on Maddie a little bit, kind of going off of what you just said about not really having, a lot of minutes to give her. How are you kind of seeing yourself utilize somebody that can come off the bench and kind of change not necessarily the stat sheet, but the tone of the game really well?
I mean, she's really a luxury. Like, I as a coach, you look down the bench and you see her, like, and you want to play her more, but you're just like, hey, we got to get Raven going, we got to get Powell going, we got to get all these players going, and when you call her to go into the game, she's going to be solid. Like, she's made me feel that way. So sometimes you just kind of let the other guards do their thing, because she's going to be solid. And because of that, she sometimes loses out on some minutes. But, I mean, I tried to get her in the first quarter, which we did, and I thought she did some really nice things for us.
Chantel.
Just kind of expanding on that, with your underclassmen as a whole, what do you really look for at this point in the season to assess their progress and know who to give those kind of limited minutes to?
Just being solid. Chloe had it going on early. So Joyce's minutes were off a little bit. She didn't go into the game at her normal substitution time, and I just told her that I'm gonna hold off on you because Chloe is playing well, and Chloe, she needs these minutes, these extra minutes that we're giving her in the first quarter. And it kind of probably threw Joyce off a little bit, but I know Joyce can handle those situations. And I think Joyce came in and gave us some valuable minutes, got a steal and a layup and fouls, and she's getting better and better. Like, she's reliable. Like, I just want somebody that, when you call their number, it's not going to tilt too far to the right or left. They're going to stay kind of in the middle, and they're predictable. And that's what our young players are giving us right now.
Pete, Elijah, Joe.
Don, I'm not gonna ask about the game. Your new AD was here at the game. Had you met him before he was hired? What do you think of
Yeah.
the hiring going forward?
Never met, I just met him before the game. I thought he was much shorter than he was. Like, when I first met him, I'm like, cause I read he was a soccer player, I'm thinking, okay, shorty, like 6'2", I'm like, okay. I mean, it's a new AD, I think we're both looking forward to, working with each other and hopefully, he's got a eye, ear, and heart for women's sports.
Elijah, then Joe.
You mentioned trying to get like certain guards going throughout the game, and I noticed at the last play of the third quarter, you kind of called that clear out for Malaysia, even though she was 0 for 6 before that play. What does that A say about the confidence that you have in her to be able to get that bucket despite maybe having a rough shooting night, and B, was that kind of a way to try to get her going, maybe a little more engaged on that side of the ball?
Yeah, we have to get her going. We have to get her going. And it is in that particular play, the way she scored on that play is what we need from her. She can still do what she does, but we need more of those fundamental straight line drives where she's utilizing her skill set and her superpower, her speed, her jumping ability. That is like picture perfect. And I'm like, that's it. You can get a lot more of those, like so many more of those. So yes, we have to get her going, and we will. We're fortunate that, some of our other guards are playing well, so we're not feeling it as much, but we will. We will feel, her not filling the stat sheet up. So we gotta get her going.
Joe.
Coach, these last couple of weeks you've been talking about getting good shots. You guys shot 57% from the field tonight, which is pretty good. How do you keep the shooting consistency going forward with such a rough schedule ahead, and how did you guys find it tonight?
We just have to be more disciplined. We're watching, in the first half, second quarter, Powell came down, turned the ball over, took a bad shot. And then the very next time she came down and turned it over. I think Richardson got a 3 off on one of them, and then they scored back to back. And I'm like, I just tell them that this is it. Bad shot, bad turnover, gets their score going. They got into our lead, and you just have to make them aware of it. And then we got to stop the bleeding. It can't be just a timeout. It has to be the players that are on the floor. They have to recognize it. So we have to just familiarize them with it. Sometimes that is in the breakage of play, timeout. Sometimes it's you'll call a set where it demands for them to reverse the basketball.
Okay.
Couple questions, Coach. First, you talked earlier before the game saying they're going to play for 40 minutes. And it came out, obviously you guys came out and stormed to an early lead. They fought back a couple times. What did you see from your team to be able to weather the storm?
They're a good basketball team that can score a lot of points. We knew that they would have a run, whether it's early or late or whatever. I think the group that we had in probably played a little bit too long. And I just try to give them an opportunity, because they, the group that was in, the second group that was in, pushed the lead back up to 20, and then the lead went to 10 like that. Bad shots, bad decisions, bad defense, and then we really couldn't keep them in that much longer. So, got back in the game, and Chloe was very heroic for us. To seal the deal for us. But we're playing great competition they're not going to go away. Duke's not going to go away. They were going to play for 40 minutes. We knew that. It was just, us being able to stop the bleeding and force them to do something that they weren't doing, which was turning us over, us taking bad shots. Them getting offensive rebounds. They out-rebounded us for sure. Yes, they out-rebounded us 18 offensive rebounds. Hard. It's hard. It's hard to guard against that.
And jumping back to Maddie for a second, point guard to point guard, kind of how is that connection developed over the season? What has been your message to her throughout the year?
Maddie makes me smile. Like, she really does. She makes me smile because she's such a, you know, her mother calls her sweet girl. And she is really she's really sweet. She's smart. She's quiet. She is a hard worker. She is a pleaser. She is playing well. And she chose us. She chose us. She could have gone to any school. Duke was one of her schools. Georgia was one of her schools, and she chose to come here. And when you choose to come here knowing that we had Powell, knowing we had Raven, you know, that could be intimidating. That could be, some people told her that she's making the worst decision of her life, and we won't play her until her junior year. Like, and I'm happy because she's proven them wrong. But a player like Maddie's she's always going to be successful with anything that she does because of, you know, her approach to everything that she does.
Last question to Matt in the back.
Going back to Chloe and her heroics, she's talked about just how hard she's worked, just getting ready for these games. What's it been like for you to watch her process to become a player that wants the ball in the big moments?
You know, Chloe wants it bad. You know, sometimes it works for her and sometimes it works against her. Today it worked for her. Just as early as yesterday, she's just like, basically, it's telling me I don't believe in her. Like, where you get that from? Like, what are you? Part of it is, you know, you can look at the minutes, and her minutes decreased over Thanksgiving, but we were winning by 30, 40 points. And sometimes allowing some youngsters to get some minutes that will strengthen our team, you may look at it as, I don't believe in her. She did take some bad shots, and, you know, over Thanksgiving, and I took her out because of it. She didn't take bad shots. She didn't take bad shots today. And because of that, you know, she gets this kind of performance. When she takes bad shots, it kind of lends itself to not, you know, us not being able to right the track. Because if she's taking a bad shot, if Ashton takes a bad shot, if Joyce takes a bad shot, we're a bad shooting team. So my expectation is for her to take better shots so she can set the example because she can score. Like, she can really score the basketball. So I'm happy because Chloe pours into herself. Like, she does all the right things in regards to prepping herself. She does all the right things in making lifestyle changes, lifestyle changes in order for her to play this way. Like, she wants to be a pro, so she's active in doing things and creating habits that will help her. So I want basketball to repay her for that, like, every time she steps on the floor, because there's so many that they just come to practice and that's it. They don't do any extra. She does all the extra. So I want basketball to repay her in this way a lot more times than it has.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all for standing up.